Hey guys, it's Brandon, aka B.Rich Beauty, aka your beauty best friend. Happy Monday, y'all! We're talking about the Oscars, you know, the good, the bad, and the slap heard around the world in Hollywood, sugar. The ghetto. We're talking about that and a lot more. No, we're talking about that today, just the Oscars. But baby, you know what to do. Grab your tea, grab your beverage. Let go! What's going on, Beauty Besties? Happy Monday, sugar. How y'all doing up there? Are y'all refreshed from the weekend? Are y'all still hyped from last night? Are y'all ready to tiptoe into your week? What did y'all do over the weekend? You know, I gave myself permission to rest. And I didn't realize how much I needed it until I did it. And I gave myself Saturday, I gave myself a permission to sleep in. I dozed in and out of sleep. I officially woke up later in the afternoon, got up, went to the pool, had some beverages and some snacks, some charcuterie by the poolside with some friends. And then Sunday, the weather was beautiful here in South Florida. And I hung out on the beach with some friends as well. And I just literally took a moment to just kind of decompress and enjoy friends and outdoors and all that great jazz. Now, Miami, oh, by the way, all the chaos has officially come to the end. Spring break is officially over as of last night. The Miami Beach curfew is lifted. And, you know, there was a lot happening in the week in Miami this weekend. You not only did you have spring break, but you also had Ultra Music Festival, child. Which, by the way, I think I saw that it brought 55,000 people here for that. Super spreader. No, I'm just joking. By the way, what happened to super spreaders? At one point, everything was a super spreader event over like 10 people. And now we're back. We outside, y'all. 55,000 people was here for the Ultra Music Festival over the weekend. People says we are outside living our best life, getting ready for this spring summer. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. And let's jump into today's topic, which is the Oscars. I've called it officially the good, the bad, and the slap, honey, aka the ghetto. So we're going to start with the good. You know, I love any show or performance where it turns into be a twofer. I show up expecting one thing, and then I get, bam, a Beyonce concert, okay? So Beyonce opened up the show. The Williams sisters introduced her, and I just knew they were going to try to save Beyonce to the end to make everybody stick around and watch. But Beyonce kicked the show off for the culture. All of these dancers with beautiful braided hair designs. She shot it in downtown Compton, by the way, on the Williams sisters tennis court. Like, it was just such a great feel for the culture moment. Beyonce looked like she was either filming a CGI movie or that it was going to be a green screen set because they wore nothing but like that tennis ball green, which I know, I get it. It was meant to look like a tennis ball because obviously tennis. But I was like, okay, Beyonce, let me find out. This is about to be the next Ivy Park collection coming soon. All highlighted neon tennis ball green, by the way. And baby Blue Ivy is no longer a baby. Did y'all see Blue Ivy, aka Little Mama, out there dancing in front of her mama, okay? I was like, come on, Blue Ivy. And as we should have known, baby Blue Ivy got rhythm. She kept up with the girls. She had the steps. She was serving face. Now, my question is, does Beyonce cut Blue Ivy a check, too, for her performing along with the rest of the dancers? Like, what we doing here? Is Blue Ivy, like, executive producer of this performance as well, along with her mama? Because, you know, Beyonce stayed trying to give her daughter, you know, credit, honey, and power in the industry, which is smart, okay? I loved it. What did you guys think about the King Richard's performance? We got a Beyonce performance. We heard Be Alive sang live. And the fact that they got not only Beyonce outside, but they got Beyonce, because y'all know Beyonce don't come outside no more, child. They not only did they get Beyonce outside, they got Beyonce in downtown Compton, child, performing in her finest CGI outfit. I'm here for it. Hello, 3 female hosts for the Oscars. Of course, that's a great thing. Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, and Regina Hall did the damn thing. Not only were they each funny in their own way, but they held their own space. And, you know, Amy made a joke saying that you have 3 female host, which is still cheaper than one male host, the sad part is it's probably true. And then what she probably should have said is 3 female hosts is probably cheaper than one male white host on top of that. Because they were probably playing the white host more than they were playing the black host. Because hasn't Chris Rock hosted the Oscars in the past versus like Billy Crystal? Exactly. So I love that. Now, I will say this. They were all really, really funny. Really leaning into their own brand of comedy. But was it just me? Because first of all, Regina Hall looked amazing, by the way. Her jokes landed well when she was collectively with the group. But there was a segment where she was doing administering COVID tests with her tongue that felt a little like reverse Me Too. Not only did she call single men on stage, aka Tyler Perry and a few other people, but she then proceeded to give Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin a pat down, which then made me really feel like if this was reversed and this was a man doing this to women live on stage at the Oscars, it would be cancel the Oscars 2023, okay? But I digress. I think all 3 of those women did a fantastic job, and to me that was a highlight and one of the goods for the show. What's another good? Oh, there was a lot more representation this season as well in terms of nomination, and we had a first for the Oscars. Ariana DeBose, who played Anita in the West Side Story film, won for Best Supporting Actress, which made her the very first openly queer Afro-Latina woman to win. So I thought that was great as well. And also Will Packer and his production company produced the Oscars. So you had a whole black man in his production company producing these Oscars, which we all know has been Oscars so white for the last couple of years. So I thought those were really great moments. What were your thoughts here? What was your good here? Did you enjoy Beyonce's concert? Did we love her outfits? Regina King, Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, were they hilarious? Did they hold their own? And what were your thoughts on some of the winners of, last night's Oscar as well? So now that we got the good out the way, let's talk about the bad, child. What should have been just a normal 40-second or so monologue from comedian Chris Rock turned into being something bigger. So let me just go ahead and set the stage on what triggered the slap heard around the world in Hollywood, y'all. Chris Rock comes on stage, makes his jokes, doing his monologue as he's about to present the nominees for whatever category he was presenting, child, because no one even pays attention to that category anymore. And so in his comedic lapse of judgment, Chris Rock makes a comment about Jada Pinkett Smith and her being bald. So much so that, Chris says, oh, and Jada, G.I. Jane 2, we're waiting for it. Okay? Here's why this comment did not go well. Jada has been very open about why she cut her hair off and why she's bald. And she said she cut her hair off because she was suffering from alopecia. So now in this whole comedic moment, and here's the thing. Because you're not telling me that you're at the Oscars, Chris Rock, and your monologue is not scripted. Everybody's reading that teleprompter. So at some point, Chris read this joke before he went on stage and felt like it was okay. And the other people, the joke writers and the script writers for the Oscars put that joke in there and allowed it to stick. And no one vetted that this joke may actually have a domino effect. Because with Jada saying that she struggled with alopecia, so much so that she shaved her head, did anyone not think that that was not okay to talk about? Like, you're essentially making a joke out of somebody's illness. Now, what makes the joke even more insensitive is Chris Rock did a whole movie, not a half, not a quarter, not a partial, a whole movie about black hair. And in that movie about black hair, he talks about women's struggle with their hair. So you now made a joke about this black woman in the front row who's bald, who you may or may not have realized is suffering from alopecia, which then triggered her husband, Will Smith, to respond accordingly. And also, let me tell you how I knew Chris Rock realized he really effed up royally is when the crowd started to giggle because they thought it was a joke, and then they realized, oh, that was a low blow, and everybody got quiet and slightly groaned. Chris himself had to say, ooh, it's not that bad. But what you see is Jada's face go from an initial laugh to, wait a minute, did this just talk about me? And her face is like, oh no. And she's pissed off. And so much so that, again, Will and Jada are used to people talking about them because guess what? They've invited us into their marriage because of how open they were. Hell, there's a whole red table talk about a whole entanglement situation. We know intimate parts of their marriage. When you invite people into intimate parts of your life, especially your marriages, which is one of the most intimate and private things, you are now opening yourself up to public consumption and all of the backlash that can come from it, aka being the butt of jokes. I say that because this was not a joke about their marriage. Hell, Regina Hall made a joke about their marriage when she tried to bring Will on stage saying, Will, I know you're married, but in this case, Jada approves, so come on up. That was a joke about their openness to their marriage, and Will laughed it off, waved it off, and did not move out of his seat. But what Chris Rock attacked was not about their marriage that has been overly open for us to consume, but now personally attacks something Jada has been going through. And what we know for sure, unless what we should know, is that when someone looks out of the norm, we got to now move from a different place. We can't be asking questions or just judging, because look what that did to us with Chadwick Boseman, honey. We were judging this man because he lost all this weight, and guess what? That man was silently fighting for his life for 4+ years. So now you see this beautiful black woman dressed in emerald. Side note, did y'all realize that the color for the Oscars this season was green? Honey, people wore all shades of green. People were looking like pistachio ice cream. They were looking like the Grinch or Emerald City. And I saw great iterations of green. As a side note, I say that because if y'all looking for some fashion inspiration, green is the color, apparently. That money, money, money green. But you're now attacking this bald-headed beauty dressed in this emerald outfit looking like royalty, sitting front row, and you don't think there was going to be a fallout? Let's fast forward to the fallout. The slap that was heard around the world in Hollywood. Baby, I don't know about y'all, but when I saw Will Smith walk on stage and Chris knew something was going to happen, because Chris was like, uh-oh. I was expecting Will to give me maybe like a Kanye West, Taylor Swift moment to maybe grab the microphone from Chris and say, you know what, you owe my wife an apology, that was messed up. I was not expecting Will to actually slap. First of all, Hollywood Will clocked out. West Philadelphia, born and raised, Will clocked in and slapped literally the fire, the taste, and a little studio fix fluid off of Chris Rock's face. You know what? In fact, it wasn't even that type of slap. You know what kind of slap that reminded me of? Y'all remember Bernadine from Waiting to Exhale when she goes to see John after he removed all the money from the bank account? And the secretary that John was sleeping with, the white woman, was standing in between Bernadine, and Bernadine says, excuse me, would you mind terribly if I talk to my husband? Whap! That was the slap. Okay? Or how about, how about the slap from What's Love Got to Do With It when Ike was trying to make Anime eat the cake and Jackie stood up and he slapped Jackie and she rolled backwards and you got it's okay, Jackie, it's okay. That's the slap that Will Smith gave Chris Rock. Baby, let me tell you something. Did y'all see this unedited thing? Because not only did Will slap the holiness out of Chris Rock, Will then proceeded to turn back around like nothing happened, tugged on the bottom of his vest, and sat back down like he just got done dropping off his ties at the collection plate. Which I guess in this moment, he was dropping something off. And now, here's where I think we all were a little just shocked. We could not tell if that slap was real or fake. But what we did know is that it looked like it became real because the moment he slapped him, the audio went out on the Oscars. And we could not hear the exchange that was happening. But we saw that Will was yelling at Chris. And I don't know about y'all beauty besties, but I can read lips, okay? And we saw that Will said, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. And he said it more than once. And then that's when the audio came back on. If y'all have not seen the unedited clip, here it is right now.
Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Wow, dude. Yeah. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I'm going to, okay? Okay.
Now, once you see this unedited clip, you realize that this was not staged, but this was real. Between Nicole Kidman's face, between Lupita Nyong'o reacting in real time behind, Will Smith, you're like, oh shit, this is really happening. The fact that this is going down live on the Oscar stage, the fact that y'all are fighting at a Beyonce concert, who chooses violence at a Beyonce concert? The fact that all this is happening is swirling through my head, and I'm just like, well, what's about to happen next? Well, Chris Rock, I will give Chris Rock credit where Chris Rock earned it. He was the ultimate showman because Chris knew, first of all, Chris was probably stunned that he got the taste slapped out of his mouth, but Chris knew he could not respond and fight back because now we would have had two black men fighting on the stage live at the Oscars, right? But Chris stood there, acknowledged that Will Smith slapped the shit out of him, and tried to work his way through the rest of his presentation of the nominees. Of course, Chris was stumbling across his words because Will slapped the words down Chris's mouth, but Chris made it through. Now, I want to know what happened once Chris Rock got off stage, though. Because y'all know when y'all were in, when we were in school, like elementary and middle, when you would get upset, you get in a fight, you try to be so hard and not cry, and you swelling up, and those tears build like a dam behind your eyes. What happened to Chris Rock when he got off stage? Now, I'm going to tell y'all something, because, I don't condone violence, but in this moment, Will selectively chose violence to protect his wife because I truly believe he saw the pain on his wife's face once the joke settled and died down in that audience. And so whether or not you agree, actually, that's the question. What do you agree here? Do you agree with Will Smith's actions and how he rose up to jump to Jada's defense? Do you agree that do you think Will overreacted? And do you think Chris Rock was dead wrong with that joke and he should have known better? What I can also appreciate is how Daddy Denzel, Denzel is now the official elder within Black Hollywood community. Denzel and Tyler Perry, you can see here, I'm going to show you a little clip. It's hard to see them just clear as day, but this was some behind the scenes on commercial footage that somebody took and put on the Twitter. Denzel can be seen talking to Will along with Tyler Perry. They're also saying that Will was seen wiping tears from his face. They were trying to tell him to brush it off. Once Will gets back to his seat, Denzel comes over and puts his arm around Jada. So all of these things tells us this was real in this moment. But what I'm gonna really say, really kind of resonated with me about Denzel is that even out of the chaos of it all, Denzel spoke words into Will, and Will said it when Will was accepting his speech for winning Best Actor in a Leading Role, and he says, be careful, because at your highest is when the devil will come for you. And to me, that resonated of I am my brother's keeper. Denzel knew he needed to help out Will in that moment. And, here's the thing, right or wrong, we get very limited moments as people of color to share these spaces like the Oscar, let alone win. And so I also could not help but oh my gosh. And this is also how it's important that we continue to break down these constructs of what society has built around people of color, because we should not even care that oh my God, this happened in front of all these white people. The fact of the matter is, it shouldn't just maybe it should not have happened at all, or maybe it should have happened behind the scenes with Will and Chris one-on-one and not in front of a global audience. That should be the thought here. But because the reality of what we live in as Black people is that we rarely get invited or be able to hold space in an equal moment of white counterparts, let alone be nominated for certain things. This is one of the moments that now takes away from so much of the other good that happened within the night. So I appreciate Denzel really trying to bring Will back on track, but y'all know there are a few more things that we got to talk about. Now, I know the LAPD works on site during these award shows for added security and all these other things, but did y'all see the post that the LAPD posted saying that they were made aware of an incident between two people and that they went to investigate it and the person did not want to file or press any charges? First of all, what Kevin or Karen in that audience felt like their life was so much in jeopardy that the LAPD needed to be alerted of an incident? Second of all, again, shout out to Chris Rock for not filing charges against Will Smith, because at the end of the day, nothing would have been accomplished out of that. So Chris understood that was a one-off moment, I'm sure. He and Will, Diddy came on stage and was like, we're going to talk about this at the after party like a family. People kept saying that they were going to work this out at the after party, which I sincerely hope that they did. Because when you look at Will Smith at some of these after parties, because when you look at Will Smith at the after party, Will is holding his Oscar, jamming out to, get jiggy with it. So he's looking like he's having a great time, y'all. So here's my other thing really quickly before we wrap. There are now reports saying that Will Smith could potentially have to give back his Oscars because the Academy has a code of conduct and behavior, and that Will's behavior has potentially violated the Academy's code of conduct. Now, I'm not sure if the code of conduct applies to those that sit on the voting board, or if that also applies to, Oscar recipients. So who's to know, but we'll definitely follow this. I hope Will does not have to give back his Oscars, because to me, that was all just a momentary lapse of chaos, y'all. But I gotta be petty real quick. Have y'all seen the picture of Beyonce's reaction? Baby, Beyonce looked like, check please. Can somebody bring my car around? And Jay-Z is like, I am laying low and shutting my mouth because I am having PTSD from the elevator situation with Solange. Jay-Z was like, I'll catch y'all at the after party because I am not trying to be all up in here when people are throwing out slaps. And on that note, guys, I got to go. Let me know. We covered a lot in this Oscar video. Y'all let me know your thoughts on all things from this video. And if you love this video, you got to make sure you share it with one of your good old beauty besties. And on that note, guys, I got to go. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and definitely leave me a comment. We got to talk about it, okay? Who loves you? I do. See you Wednesday. Bye.